With Alkahest being added to the game, Hyssop's value has gone up significantly, and spices will always be relevant since making consumables is a great way to make money. Hey everyone, I'm Barkley, and today I got a guide on farming hyssop and farming spices for you guys. And if you found this video helpful, do me a favor, like, comment, and subscribe. It's always appreciated and does wonders for video exposure. Let's get into it. When farming these resources, the first thing you need to know is that each zone has 2 to 4 spices that you can get with hyssop as a secondary resource. So the best place to farm hyssop might not be the best place to get the spice you want, and that's why I want to talk about both. For farming hyssop with no particular spice in mind, the best 2 places will be Ebonscale Reach in the north corner of the zone and First Light on a path heading north. Ebonscale is a clear winner for me. There's so many nodes for it that you don't even need a route. I mean, look at this, it's insane. Use a proficiency booster and get a few thousand in an hour easily. First Light comes in second. It's more consistent because I don't see people there as often as Ebonscale. Even though spices weren't included in these 2 choices, it is nice that First Light has 4 spices instead of Ebonscale's 2. Now for the zones to farm spices in the top left I'll be going through 8 zones of farming. The spices that are colored green will indicate this is a zone I had the easiest time farming them from. Yellow is a viable and solid option if there's competition in the other zone. The zones that didn't make the list were Weaver's Fen, Great Cleave, Shattered Mountain, Brightwood, Eden Grove, and Morningdale. For Eden Grove and Morningdale, they aren't bad. The other zones just had less space between the herbs or just had more places you can get them from. The other locations aren't viable to go to for herb. Shattered Mountain and Great Cleave don't have any spawn locations, and Brightwood and Weaver's Fen have a small amount of spawn locations that are also very far away from each other. Starting the list of 8 zones to farm in, spot 1, Cutlass Keys. It's great for parsley and peppercorn while being good for cinnamon. For the route, you would do well going around the fort. Hyssop has a pretty short respawn timer, so you can stay around there and be fine. But if someone else was there, you could extend your loop down south. And if you're interested, there's some ironwood and wire fiber on the other side of the war camp. For spot 2, you'll be going to Ebonscale Reach. It's the best place for hyssop in general, so it's natural that any spice that it has, it'll be the best for it. And this is where you'll be getting thyme and ginger. Like I said before, you don't need a route here because of the amount of nodes. For the 3 notable additional resources, there's a node of Azoth water, some ironwood, and some wire fiber. Next, we'll take a look at Everfall for spot 3. You'll be heading back to the starter zone for basil, sage, and garlic. There are some berries here that you can use for filler while cooking. The fact that it's a starter zone has made competition kind of low. If I was to pick a 3rd spot for hyssop, this would probably be it. Spot 4, First Light. It's the 2nd best spot for hyssop overall, and it has 4 spices instead of 3. Another low competition starter zone. The 4 spices that you'll be getting here will be cinnamon, dill, nutmeg, and saffron. I go here for the spices for my carrot cake. Because it's a starter zone, the additional resources are just going to be fiber and rabbits. And for spot 5, we have Monarch's Bluff. The 3 spices you'll run into will be paprika, oregano, and peppercorn. There's more additional resources here than hyssop. It almost feels like hyssop is the additional resource. You'll be mainly here for paprika because the other 2 zones for it are pretty lackluster. Monarch's Bluff is probably one of the weaker spots on the list for hyssop. And for spot 6, we have Restless Shore. It's the best for rosemary and oregano while being solid for mint. It's another spot that has a lot of additional resources. You'll come across all 3 weaving materials, a few moats, while also being an easy walking distance of star metal and iron ore. It's a hot spot for a lot of materials, so expect competition. There's something here for every crafting skill. For spot 7, you would go to Windsward for mint, ginger, and thyme. It's not the best for any of the 3, but competition will be lower here. It shares resources with Ebonscale and Restless Shore. It's a good spot if you want low competition for these 3 spots. It's the starter zone like Everfall, but Everfall doesn't share any resources with other great spots. I don't think you'll need a route here because the spots are equally separated for the most part. And the last spot will be Reekwater. It's not a great spot overall, but it's the best place to get Tarragon. So this place will more than likely be contested. There's not a lot of spawn locations, but you kind of have to deal with it. There's a few additional nodes like orichalcum, lodestone, and fiber. So I got one more thing I want to touch on really quick too. I made an infographic for the people who made it this far into the video as a thank you. You can screenshot it here or get it from my Discord or on my Twitch channel. Just type !hyssop in the chat and it should pop up. If there's any way I can improve on the format, let me know. This is my first time making one, so I know I can improve a lot on it, but I think it'll still serve its purpose. I want to do something like this for all of my informational videos moving forward. And with that, thank you guys for watching. If there's any resources that you'd like me to make a guide for, let me know in the comments. And if you want to see more content like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitch, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.